ma'am for taking ahead this session. And Meenu ma'am, welcome and thank you so much for accepting the invite and helping to, readily helping to lead us through this session. Thank you so much. Over to you, Rakshana.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome in this enlightening session. I'm sure that's going to be for you all. I welcome Meenu ma'am, who has been working as PGT Computer Science and HOD in Venkateshwar International School, which is at Dwarka, New Delhi. She has a very wide experience of over 20 years and she has been awarded quite many awards, out of which I would just quote one or two, which is like FPS, which is Forum of Public Schools Teacher Award in PGT category. She got that on 6 Feb 2021. And then she also got that ICT Facilitator Award by EduNext Technologies in December 2020. I welcome you, ma'am, and I welcome everyone. I hope it's going to be a great session for each one of us. I request all the participants to note their questions because Meenu ma'am has planned that she would be giving the numbers to each slide or the topics. So at the end, you can just come up with those questions as per those numbers itself. So it would be easy for you also and for us also. So there would be, I hope, no disturbances in between and the session goes on well. Okay, Meenu ma'am, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's lovely to be here. At the very beginning, I would like to tell you, I will be sharing my PPT. There are various links in the PPT that you can use when you plan to start class 11th AI. Also, this is the journey I've had for the past 1 year. So I will be sharing my experiences with you. This is something which I have done in past 1 year. So you are most welcome to make changes in it. And of course, even suggest something from your side. Like I said, I'm just 1 year old in class 11th AI. So if you can give me your suggestions, I'll be very happy to incorporate that also. And at the onset, I would also like, I think Harmeet Kaur is here. Harmeet, are you here? Welcome, Harmeet. I would like to say, hi Harmeet, how are you?
All good.
So Harmeet is one person whose books I had read through when I started with this subject. So thanks a lot, Harmeet. You have always been very helpful. Whenever I've asked you questions, you've replied promptly. So that's a very big help for me.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Most welcome. So I'm going to share my screen. Just let me know if the screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So in the beginning itself, these are the objectives of the course which you will be seeing on the CBSE website if you download the syllabus. And let me tell you, by the end of the year, you will be achieving these objectives because students as such, they do develop a love for this syllabus. And they in fact come up with some ideas of their own, which obviously will help you out also. If you are beginning for the first time, so what you can do is you can go through these 2-3 courses that I have listed for you. And these are good courses. They will give you an idea about artificial intelligence. What are the various things that you need to be aware of while you are teaching this course. So you can note down the slide numbers. If you have any questions, then you can ask me later on. I will be sharing this PPT, so you will get all the links. Don't worry. So this is the first part where if students do not have any idea about AI, this is one of the questions that I'm asked, that students do not have any idea about AI. So how will they be, coming at par? So this is the first unit is the introductory unit. So this is the part where they will be told about various things like history of AI. So you can talk about the Turing test, the various types of AI, the narrow and the super AI. So you can tell them that we are still in the narrow AI. And of course you have what is data, algorithms, jobs in AI, and for all this enough material is available on the net. Now what I generally do is, this is a long chapter, so I divide it into 2 parts. So this is the place where I cover all these topics in part 1, and for then part 2 what I do is I list down these topics. So the machine learning parts, then you can add them in one area, so you have all this information in one go. So for machine learning, there are lots and lots of videos available, so just you have to google them and you will get all these. I will also share with you, if you are going for like reinforcement learning is actually not there in the syllabus, but just for the purpose of knowing, I do tell my students about reinforcement learning. So give specific focus on supervised and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning in unit 2, when I talk the 6 to 10 units, when I talk tomorrow, I will be talking about the various algorithms. There will be 2 algorithms that are there in the syllabus that we are doing in machine learning under supervised learning. So you can give a lot of examples in this. Supervised learning, you have regression, which is the easiest one. Unsupervised learning, then you have the I think clustering. So you have lots of options available. They are there in the net, so you just give one search and you will get it. Now for the practical part, for this chapter, if you want to go for the practical, these are the things that which I did. You of course have the option of making your own suggestions. So teachable machine, if students have already done that in class 10th, you can forego this. I have certain students who have done AI in class 10 and some of them do not do AI. So I do this topic and I do for all three, the image, audio and pose. So I do all three and I give them assignments, which I think most of you must have done it innumerable times. Now, there is this website called learnml.eu, artbot.php. This is something new that I got, and this will be teaching them supervised learning as well as reinforcement learning. So children will be teaching the machine about the difference between sculpture and a painting, and in the end there will be a game where the computer would be using reinforcement learning to play the game. So they'll get an idea about these 2 types of learning. So this you can do. Then I'm sure you have heard about code.org, and this is one of the lessons where you train the machine to recognize fish and not fish. So there are various levels to it. So you can have the children play this also. And then of course, Quick Draw with Google is always available. You can have this. So all of these come under supervised learning in the practical part. So generally people ask me, how do you do the practicals? Because as such, these are all softwares, and then how to create the file. So what I did was, because last year students were not coming to school, so I told them for teachable machine, they can download the file also, or they could give me the screenshots and put them in a PPT file. So the PPT file is then ready at the end of the year, and if you want, you can take a printout also. Okay, so when I'm talking about neural networks, so this is one game that I play with them. Let's see if this will play. Initially, I think all of you will be seeing this. You must have played this game in your childhood, where you have a river and a sheep and a fox and a person and cabbage, and the person has to take all the three across the river. So now they have to think, because if the person takes the sheep and then the wolf will eat the sheep. So this is something that I play with them, so that they start thinking. And if they've already done this in the childhood, so then they tell me that, ma'am, we played this game in the childhood. So I say, see, you haven't forgotten. So this is how I explain neural pathways, that something you've learned in your childhood, the pathway has already got developed. The same way the machine is also learning from their instructions, and the machine obviously does not forget, so it keeps making changes in its pathways and then coming up with the required algorithm, so, or the model. So this is one fun way of starting with this concept. And then of course in the neural network, now for this the book is quite sketchy. So what I did was, I focused on the 3 layers. Then the concept of weight and back propagation, how the answer, if it is not up to the mark, then the neural network sends back the answer, the output to the layers, and then the layers adjust the weights, and then that becomes the back propagation. So this concept, again, I had explained to the students. Types of neural network, it is not there in the book, but I had done because since we will be developing a project in class 12. So just an introduction to these two types of neural networks, convolutional and feed-forward. CNN is used in quite a number of image pattern matching neural networks. So that is why I had just introduced one small this concept. This video is also available for neural networks. So once you get the PPT, you can go through this link and see the video yourself. Then we come to unit 2. Now you have 5 chapters in the whole book. There are 10 chapters. So you have 5 chapters as theory and 5 chapters as practicals. So unit 2 is a practical chapter, and this is a huge chapter, so lots of things to tell the children. So you have chatbots, then Alexa and Siri, computer vision, weather predictions, price forecasting, and then self-driving cars. Now for this, what you can do is, because this involves a lot of theory, you obviously can't sit and make them develop something. So what I did was, you can make them talk to Cookie. Cookie, incidentally, I think you must be knowing, she has won the Turing test for several years. Then you have various chatbots available. This is also a chatbot, Be the Bot, My Blue Mix. This is also available, so you can talk to this chatbot also. And what I did was, I made them create a small chatbot using IBM Watson. Now all these 3 platforms are available. You don't have to do any kind of coding. It is only the dialogue part that you share with the chatbot that only you have to give. So all the other coding part has already been embedded. So that way, at least when you make the students build a chatbot, it will be an interesting concept for them. And since I worked on IBM Watson, what you get is, you get the hyperlink also, the URL also. So children can actually send the hyperlink to you, and you can also check it for your students, or they can embed it if they're making a website. For example, you think about taking chatbot also in class 12 practical. So when you make a website, so you can embed this chatbot in the website also. That coding is provided by all these 3 platforms. So the students don't have to do much hard work. So this is one practical that you can do with them. For self-driving cars, this very good video I had found, but unfortunately this is in Hindi. So if you have a language barrier, then I'm sorry, this will not help you. But others who do know Hindi in their regions, they can use this. This explains the concept of self-driving cars and the various tools that you use, the lidar, the radar, everything that you're using in the self-driving car. It explains it very well. So you can use this video. Then, as I said, this is a very long chapter. Then you have something called as characteristics and types of AI. So obviously you have to do all these. So how do you show the students that what exactly are you talking about? So for human-like AI, we have lots of examples. Recommender systems, you already know about the Facebook and the Amazon and the Flipkart recommender systems. So students will also not have any problem identifying with them. For human-like AI, you have Sophia. So lots of videos are available for Sophia's information. And then there was one I found as a news anchor, which is being used in China. So this lady, she tells the news every evening in one of the Chinese news stations. So this video I had found, and I'm giving you the link for that. For cognitive computing, now this is something which goes a little beyond AI, but this is mentioned in the syllabus, and they tell that you have to go to a little bit of depth in cognitive computing, how it is affecting and how it is making the AI concept better. So this is one of the videos I have found, and this one example I found that I really like, that how you can explain that how cognitive computing is one step beyond artificial intelligence. So if suppose this example was the person wants to change the job. So how will the artificial intelligence and cognitive computing help the person? So this was that the artificial intelligence will obviously assess your skills, find the relevant job for you, and probably negotiate the pay. So this is the part that artificial intelligence will do. But cognitive computing will go one step further and then suggest you a career path. Probably if you need to upskill yourself, that suggestion will also be given. Any kind of comparison you need to make on salary with other companies, and then various other job openings. So this is one part you will have to focus on and go into a little depth, because it is actually given in the syllabus. So this portion I hope will help you. And then I skipped unit 3 purposely. I'll come to the reason later on. So I went to the chapter that is AI issues. So this concerned with the ethical issues. Now, this was one of a very nice chapter. When I started reading this, there were so many things that you could do. So these are all the links that were available. It generally focuses on this video that if you click on this link, you will see this video where it talks about the moral decisions that self-driven cars, the programmers deal with the moral decisions with these type of cars. So what is to be done? So through the game, they are teaching you that what are these ethical decisions and how difficult it is for a programmer to reach these decisions. The second link actually tabulates the results all over the world and then gives you those tabulations. So you can talk to the students. So one interesting thing I found that in almost all areas of the world, they are saying that you must save a child. But in certain areas, and you'll be surprised to know this, when it came to whether you want to save a woman or a man, so the certain people were not very towards ladies, that a lady should be given preference. If the self-driven car has to go and hit the man or the woman, then they said let the self-driven car hit the woman. We don't have any demarcation between a man and a woman. When I played this game with my students, I got very different answers. One of the students did come up and say that if I am going to put so much of money into a car, then obviously I will think about my safety first. So let everybody die, but I would like to live. So these are all issues that you need to tackle with your students, and it becomes very difficult to make them understand that what exactly is the right decision. Then there was this game on Kahoots that I found. So this is a trolley problem game which says this is not on self-driven cars, but it actually tackles the issues of ethics in AI very beautifully. It allows the children to play the game, and also tells them that there is actually not one clear-cut answer for each scenario. So one scenario was there's a bridge and a train will be hitting that bridge. So in order to save, one person must throw himself or herself down from the bridge. So there are 4 people. So what decision would you take? Would you like to throw the woman or the child or the fat person? So most of them, my students said the fat person. Then they gave another scenario that what if the fat person was the one who could save you? Then what would you do? So this is a very beautiful game. If we have time, we'll play here itself on this platform. Then comes storytelling. Now, this is a chapter where this though is a practical chapter. AI ethics is a theory chapter, so it will be included in the theory part, but this chapter is a practical chapter. However, I would suggest that you give this equal importance, because in class 12, this is a proper theory chapter. So and I was going through the class 12 book. So what they want is, they don't want you to focus on the storytelling part. They want you to focus on grasping data from the graph and then weaving a story about it. So that is where the students had a problem. They knew about the information and they could grasp data from the graph also, but how to put it in a story. So that is one thing that probably I found that students struggling in. So as a teacher, you will have to focus on that also. So this is just one graph that I picked up from the net, and then you can make a question on it, like I gave, that you use the graphs and try to create a story to explain the girl child's lower enrollment rates than that of boys at the higher education level. So from the graph, obviously there are lots of reasons. Pan India, there are lots and lots of reasons. So you can discuss with your students about the the reasons, and then make them sit and write the story. If you want, you can use Inkle Writer, but I wouldn't suggest it, because in class 12, it's a theory chapter. They will have to sit and write the story if it comes up in the board exam. So make them write, give them that practice that they have to sit and write. Yesterday, when I was attending the Global Teachers Academy classes, so there was this beautiful graph and very relevant one which was given. So I have incorporated that also, where it is the result comparison between class 10th and class 11th. And as you can see, the result in class 11 goes down. So you can give such kind of graphs to students and then make them come up with some kind of story. Discuss it first, because initially you'll have to discuss them, because when I started with it, students could not come up with any kind of story. So you discuss the pros and cons, make them take up one character. That character could be that person himself or herself, or they could go for a third person narrative and take up another character. So this is one chapter you'll have a little bit of hard work. And then I come to unit 3, and unit 3 is actually maths in AI. So this will be giving matrices and sets. Now, the reason I took up this chapter at the end, so this was somewhere I did it in July end or August end. August mid. So was the reason because in class 11, they have a concept called a set theory in maths. So I waited for the maths teacher to finish that chapter, and then I did this chapter. So they picked up matrices very quickly. Otherwise, matrices is chapter 1 in class 12th. So please remember, this is in class 11. So as a computer teacher, you will have to do this. Ones who have done C++ will not have much problem, because you've already worked with the double dimension array concept. So, and the book is also quite explanatory. So you will be doing something like introduction to matrices. In that, you will have types of matrices, addition and subtraction, and multiplication and transpose. So all this you won't have any difficulty. The only difficulty I think you will have in inverse, because this is a little tricky concept. So what I did was I invited my maths teacher to take this class, and being the technology teacher that I am, I had recorded her lecture. So these two links are the recordings that she took in my class. Other than that, the NCERT has also released the PDF of these two chapters. So they are in the public domain. You can download these chapters from the NCERT website. They are very well explained, and you can give them practice questions from the NCERT PDFs only. Now, then the other part is the introduction to data table joins. These children already have an exposure to Venn diagrams. So this concept will not be difficult for you to explain. You already have done the concept of table joins if you're doing SQL for your students. So table joins will not be a difficult concept. Visual representation of data, this focuses on all the graphs that you have. So I would suggest that you focus more on scatter plots and bar graphs, because these two topics will be covered in unit 6 to 10 also. So focus on these two graphs. Then one last, I think, was simple linear equation. In that, we had least square method of regression. Now, from this chapter, I had skipped this topic. The reason being, there is a huge chapter on regression, that is unit 8. So they were already going to cover this topic in that chapter. So I personally had skipped this chapter. It is up to you how you want to go through it, because it will be covered in great depth in unit 8. And here it is only one short topic. So that is why I had skipped it. It's again up to you. You can use these two links to help you out. And that's it. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Wow. So the session is open for everybody. She has led us through unit 1 to unit 5. Shoot all your questions and all your doubts to her. Okay. You won't get her like this again. If she finishes, she goes to the 6 to 10 unit. So all the doubts, please don't think that, okay, this is going to be a silly question. It's okay. We are all at the same level. At least I am. I am at level 0, so I don't mind asking any questions for that matter. I can see 66 participants. So all the teachers who are taking grade 11 for the very first time, this is the time you can clarify all the questions. Yes, So,
Shibi,
there are
can I
any
ask a question?
questions?
Shibi, can I ask a question?
Definitely, definitely.
Hi. Hi,
I'm
Harmeet
not
this
sure,
side.
Harmeet, I can answer your question, but I'll seriously try.
Actually, no. It's actually not pertaining to AI. What I must say is you're doing a wonderful job in leading this revolution, I would say, for
Coming from
starting
you,
with
it's a
grade
huge
11.
thing. Coming from you, it's a
No.
huge, huge thing.
Meenu, we are all colleagues at this point of time, and we are all in the same stance as just what Shivi has said, that we are all at the same level, and we are just trying to fend off what we think we know and what exactly. I was just going through the comments, and Divya was also putting up that when you're talking about moral machine, how do we justify telling our children that whether it is correct to kill this against this? So these are the conversations that which have been around for a very long time. Like for example, there have been Hindi poets who have talked about Hindu-Muslim religion conversations, India-Pakistan and political science. So those are the kind of stance that we as technology people will also have to now take up and have to balance out how we unpack these topics in the class. All that said, my one question to you was that, if I'm looking at the curriculum for AI for grade 11th and 12th, now there is a full component of employability skills also, right? Did you cover that part for grade 11?
In grade 11, I did not do the ICT part, but I did
Okay.
the English communication and green skills. And I think there was one entrepreneurship. Yeah, these three.
So
ICT
this
part, I
was
club them and I do it in class 12.
okay. So this is also somewhat similar to what is done in grade 9th and 10th, or is it upscale to more or less similar?
A little more, Harmeet, a little more, because I've done employability skills for 802 also. I'm teaching
Okay.
802 also. So it's a little more. Otherwise, you will not have any problem as such. In the book is good, and if they go through the book, the questions, if you go through the questions,
Exactly. It's wonderful. It's wonderful example. It's wonderful combination that IBM has put up. And while we're still on the conversation of training, I just would want to apprise you people that by the end of June, we are coming out with the trainings for. In fact, IBM is coming up again for the trainings for grade 12. So keep lookout for that. And the team is actually finalizing a lot of content for grade 12, specifically for the capstone project that has been in
yeah.
a lot of conversation. Now, as you are a part of GTA, I'm one of the trainers in GTA. So I would just like to bring. So you would have seen a project logbook over there,
Yeah.
right? So that is again, since you are already in the process of teaching grade 12, you can actually formulate your final project book with something on the same lines. That is what is being utilized for designing the capstone project. But I must say, Neelu, very good and very nicely explained. And hats off to you and all the people who are doing such a great job. And all the best. We are all here next to each other, holding hands. But anytime you would want any help, any suggestions, please don't feel bad about not asking. And as to be said that there are no wrong questions. There are only wrong answers. There are only so all questions are good. You're doing a fabulous job guiding everyone. I'm very, very proud of you. Very, very proud.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
I
much.
think,
Ma'am, can I
Shivi, that
ask
was
a
my
question?
biggest
Meenu
vote
ma'am.
of thanks. I don't need anything else.
Good afternoon, Meenu ma'am. Uh,
Yeah.
Deepshikha this side. I just want to ask you because I'm otherwise I was really scared about this subject, but because of your WhatsApp group and because of your these things, I'm a little bit comfortable now. So that's why my first question is, because right now I'm just reading your this IBM book, Unit 1 to 5. Uh, I was always like this, like I don't know about what kind of questions or what kind of, like in the practical, like you had explained us, कि we need to ask our children to create a chat bot. Okay, so when we are going in a class, then the concepts we can explain to our children, but how we can explain the practical means how we have to go into in our class. And please help us or guide us about like what kind of questions will be asked, because when I read about that chapter, that mathematical chapter, then I was just thinking about whether the question can be asked or a story or a case can be thrown to a students, where we will expect them to give them what is the standard deviation in it, or calculate variance in it, or if we are explaining them about the matrices, then what we are, because matrices is related to the image recognition, which we have understood from the book. So are they, means I'm just clueless like how I'm going to take up these things in the class to explain my children.
Deepshika, for your chatbot, there are lots of videos available for creating a chatbot, whether it's on Dialogflow or IBM Watson. If you have any problem, do connect with me. I will give you, I've done it on IBM Watson. So I will give you the training data that we got, the training PDFs that we got for IBM Watson. So I'll share it on the group also, so that you don't have any problem. It's very, you could say, steadfast. You go from one step to another step to third step, so you will not have any problem. So once you do it yourself, you can explain it to your students also. There are lots of videos available. You can play the video, and then students can learn from there also. So there you won't have any problem. Regarding matrices, what I did was, initially, because I did it at the end of say July, beginning August, and we were near to the half yearlies. So in the half yearly, I did not ask them very difficult questions. It was purely mathematical: find the inverse, do the addition of these, this and that. So purely mathematical, calculate the standard variance. Then by the time we came to unit 2 and final examinations, then there are certain application based questions. Like, I was also searching the net for this. So there I found certain questions. So I did 1 or 2 in class to give them practice, and the same then those kind I asked in the final exam also. As such, pertaining to specific image recognition, I did not give them as yet, because they still have to grasp this idea. So this is something that comes in stages. At one go, you expect the students also to understand. It will not happen overnight. It will take time.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, will there be any sample paper or anything else by which we just come to know like what kind of questions we should frame on a chapter
See,
or
I can share my own paper with you. Class 12 CBSE will release. So for class 11, I can share my own paper with you. That much I can do. But class 12, of course, we'll have to wait for CBSE to share their papers. That I think should come in September, October, probably.
Yeah, that would be
You know,
great,
ma'am.
ma'am. I think, if you share a sample paper, so teachers will have an idea about like what kind of questions to frame, and, and accordingly, they can also start sessions. Raksha ma'am, there are questions on the chat box you want to take?
Yes, Meenu ma'am, there are a few
Thank you.
questions.
Thank you.
The first one I think you have almost answered is how much in depth we should go with the math concepts. So you have already
Follow the NCERT book, because if you see the IBM curriculum book also, they are also giving you the topic wise. Follow the NCERT book. No, you don't have to go much in depth. This is a very easy concept because it's in class 12. So I was also a little apprehensive that probably students may not pick up this concept, but they were able to pick up this concept and it was easy. Those who have already done C++, like I said, you've already worked on double dimension arrays in C++. So you will not have any problem picking up these concepts. Inverse, like I told you, I had a little difficulty. So I had asked my maths teacher. You can also talk to your maths teacher. It's a good concept. Your maths teachers will help you out.
Yes, surely. I think Divya ma'am, it answers for you. The next question is from Deepa ma'am. Employability skills 1, 2, 3, 4 goes to classes 9, 10th, 11, 12 simultaneously, right? Is that
I don't think so, because 9, 10th is a little different from 11, 12, from what I found. There's a little difference in the level, and probably some of the questions were also different, because I went through a whole lot of questions when I was making the sample papers for my students. So 11, 12th, the book is also a little different. So you go through the book, it's straightforward, and you will not have problems. Students, maximum, see, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, everybody knows. So you just have to go through it once. People already have some idea about green skills. We do that in class 6 to 8. So only thing you have to focus on is entrepreneurship and English communication. Yeah. So that also most of the topics, because my daughter was doing fashion studies and she also had this employability skills. So she was telling me that some of the topics you've already covered in English. So I don't think the teachers should have any problem.
Okay, that's great. Another query is about that you can explain a little bit about supervised and unsupervised And reinforcement.
Yeah, so I forgot to tell you when I was talking about supervised and unsupervised, do focus on the kind of data these learning techniques handle. So you can talk to students that how supervised learning focuses on labeled data. Okay, so we are telling the, what I did was for teachable machine, I gave them an example. I told them to load images of dog, and the other side I told them to load images of a duck. There were two different animals. So here you are training the module to recognize the images of dog and the images of duck. Then I gave them the image of a cat. Now you give this to the machine and see what the machine tells you. So obviously the machine, because we as human beings, we do pattern matching. And we are able to recognize straight away that this is a dog, this is a cat. But the machine will obviously, it will match the eyes, it will match the ear. So this you will have to tell the students. So once then the machine will give you in percentages. Teachable machine, if you see the answers, they will give you in percentages, 50% cat, 50% duck, like that. So then you can talk to the students. So the machine is trying to match. It is not giving you a huge prediction. If it is less than 50%, then obviously it's not a good prediction. That means the image is not matching. So like this, you can talk to them. So with supervised learning, we work with labeled data, and this you must do, the kind of data, because I think in the project, the first question they will ask, what is the project? What kind of technique you're using? So if the children say regression, so the next question would be, what kind of algorithm is regression? Then the student will say it's a supervised learning algorithm. Then again, the teacher would be asking, what kind of data are you working on? So this kind of questions will be there in class 12 Viva. So you can talk to them about the kind of data they are handling. Unsupervised, as the word says, it is unlabeled data. So it is like one of the best examples that I found was, it is like the you throw the child in the water and the child learns to swim on his or herself. Though this is not a very good example, but the machine is learning on its own. So this is, and it's unlabeled data. So you do not tell the machine what data you are providing. And this is generally used in recommender systems. Okay, you have the Amazon recommender system. So if I'm like buying something and Raksha ma'am is buying another thing, so probably if both of us are buying something similar, so they will say that those who bought this also went through these products. So this is a recommender system. So this is unsupervised. The person does not, the system does not know me, only seeing my, market buying history. They are able to give me recommendations. So this is unsupervised learning. Then reinforcement learning, I gave you the link for the Artbot. It is a very good example. There the game is being played, and it's like you can give them examples of AlphaGo, where the machine learned to play AlphaGo on its own. So it's like something, the best example that I found was when you touch a hot cup. So obviously you pull back, and then the child learns for the first time that this thing is hot, I will get burned, so I will not be touching it. So it is like hit and trial. It's a punishment system. So if I will touch a hot cup, I will get burned, so it becomes a punishment for me, so I will not do it next time. So this is reinforcement learning. This I've explained in very layman terms. Of course, when you read the book, you will come to know more things about it. But do focus on these three things.
Ma'am, could you explain about classification and regression, ma'am?
Sir, these two topics I will cover in great detail tomorrow. These are unit 6 to 10, so I will be covering them in great detail. So just wait for tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think Smita ma'am wants to ask a question, please. Smita ma'am, you can
unmute. Meenu ma'am, this is Smita here.
Yes, Smita, hello? I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for allowing me to joining this session. It is a wonderful one. I got a great insight. I have 2-3 small and little bit questions. The first question is, other than the IBM handbook, is there any other book available in the market where we can refer to teaching class 11 for the students?
Not as yet. As I said in the beginning, when the IBM handbook had also not come out, I had read the books by Harneet and Sangeet Chadda. Go according to the topics. So you will have ample information on the net. Just pick up the topic, Google it, you will have ample information. So you won't have any problem as such for the material. How you bring it down to the student level, that will be a real challenge.
Okay, ma'am. My second question is that since our school will be starting, they might be starting AI in this first year. the previous class 10 batch of our school have not done Python in their course, and they have not done AI also during their curriculum in 9 and 10 because they were studying computer applications. Now for them, if they take up AI in class 11, should I give them an introduction about Python and little bit programming concepts to them so that they'll
Class
be able to
11th, it's not required. Class 11th, it's not required because when I took up AI for the first time in class 11, the students, we did not have that batch where they had done AI in class 10. So class 11th, it's not required. Class 12 book talks about machine learning part of Python. So probably when they come to class 12, then you can expose them a little bit to machine learning. Whatever is given in the book. There you will have to talk to them about pandas and the Skykit part a little bit. If you go for a machine learning project, if you are not using that domain, then probably you don't have to focus on it. But I think a little bit in class 12 will be required. It's there in the book, in class 12 book. So you'll have to teach them in class 12. 11th, it's not required. I presently, the class 11 that I've got this year again, some of them have done AI in class 10 and some of them have not taken up AI in class 10. So I have a mixed batch. So I will be starting from the very beginning itself, assuming that they don't know anything.
Okay, so no need for me to teach Python in class 11. That is it.
Not required.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Meenu ma'am, you were saying something about an NCERT book. So do we have an NCERT book for artificial intelligence in grade 11?
No, this was the maths book for matrices and determinants chapter. That is class 12 chapters, and they are available on the NCERT website. So since I was teaching for the first time, I went through these two chapters in order to get an idea, because people who've done matrices would have done this in their MTech or probably MCA. I did it in MCA also. So I had an idea about this topic, but when you go and teach students, you need to give them practice questions also. So I found these two PDFs quite good. And since NCERTs, obviously the books are very good. So you can use these two NCERTs. You have problem downloading the PDFs, please contact me. I will give you the PDFs. I have them for my students.
Yeah, we'll do that. There's one more question. Like in our syllabus for the artificial intelligence, certain units are highlighted and they've said that, okay, these units will be practical based and the other units are theory based. So how do you actually go about it? So the practical based chapters are to be attended only from the practical point of view, and if it is so, how?
That's a very good question, because I was going to tackle this tomorrow, because there are more practical chapters tomorrow. But some of the practical chapters that you like, storytelling with data, it's a theory chapter in class 12. So we can't leave it just like that. What I did was I made if you see my presentation, a group of certain exercises from the theory part and obviously certain exercises from the practical portion. So storytelling, I made them sit down and write a story. There are examples in the book itself. So I took those examples and made them write down. Then design thinking, which I'll be doing tomorrow, that whole process of design thinking, you can't ask the students to forget it, because they will be using the design thinking cycle to develop their projects in class 12. So unfortunately, you might think that since it's practical, so I don't have to give importance to this. Unfortunately, that is not the case. You will have to lay stress on the practical chapters also.
Thank you so much. So we look forward in detail tomorrow. So there is another question that has come in the chat box. Raksha ma'am,
Yes,
would you like to take it?
Ritu ma'am has asked, with AI coming as a popular subject in the coming years, and we can see that right now only. So CS and IP would be fading. So how can we just tackle that right now? And
I don't think so. See, this will not happen. So you will not have that. I still have something like 42 students in my CS. Overnight, it won't happen that they will trickle down to 2 or 3. That will not happen. You will still keep getting people. What you can do is, which I also do is, first 2-3 chapters of CS and AI, the first chapter of AI and the first 2 chapters of CS, I take it combined for both the batches, for CS and AI both. So they have an exposure about the organization of the computer. They have an exposure about the number system, that is the 2 chapters of CS, and then the first unit of AI. So I always say that the AI students should know a little bit of CS and CS students should know a little bit of AI. So I do this. Again, it's my own personal journey. It's up to you how you take it up.
I would like to add on to it. I would like to add on to it, like what I have seen in the university programs for BTech for my son also, they have got different branches. Along with CS, they have artificial intelligence, they have cloud computing, they have various branches. So what a CS person can do is he can just go and divert into any of the directions. He would have the choice to go into any direction later on also. Whereas a particular one who has already chosen something as AI, he would be restricted to that. So how can that be tackled? Though it would be beneficial for the CS ones, but how can it be tackled?
See, AI, you are learning machine learning. There also you're doing quite a bit of Python, though you are focusing on the SkyKit part and the machine learning part. I don't think once you've picked up one language, I don't think they will have difficulty in picking up other languages also.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
If you see us as teachers only, we never did Python, but we've already done Java and C and C++. So picking up Python was not difficult.
Yes, that's true. You learn one language and you can write any program in any language.
Yeah.
That goes for us students also. People want to know the name of the book you had been following, ma'am.
I did not follow any book. Like I told you, initially I read through Harmeet's book. And
I know Harmeet had been doing a lot of research and I had also been connected with
And
her.
later on, the research was completely from the net, completely. I sat down because initially I was also very skeptical. I had no teacher in Delhi helping me out. So I was the only one studying. So I actually, and this was like during the lockdown till 2 o'clock in the night, I was sitting and studying AI. So yes, this is hard work. And I would say that if you want to come up to this level, please put in that hard work. It will really help you. It will really help you.
Our field does demand that. We are in the IT sector anyway. Yeah. Okay. One person asked, Ritu ma'am is asking, also for regression, knowledge of pandas and data frame is required, is it?
Not for class 11th, not for class 11th. It's more on the statistical part. So students will sit down and do the questions manually. So it is not required in class 11th. Class 12th, yes, they will have to do the regression model, use the regression model in SkyKit part. So you will be teaching them when they come to class 12.
Okay, Harmeet ma'am had raised her hand.
Yes, Harmeet ma'am.
Okay, so I am just, amazed at the experience that you have done. And I would say that, listening to the experiences that you guys have done. I mean, I'm not teaching 11th AI this year, but I'm anyways in the process of compiling my own book. It should be out in August. But what I'm just saying is that, it's amazing to just see the journey. See, again, this is a self-directed subject. Just like, Meenu, you have inspired so many people around. Like, that how you should study yourself, and then you should be if you are the explorer and you set an example, then the others will automatically follow. If you are enthusiastic about something, then of course your students will also become enthusiastic about something. You show them one video, they will come with 10 more videos. Also, to add up to just one more query that you were talking about storytelling, right? So somebody had asked about Python in grade 11. I don't know who had asked. In AI, when I was speaking to RP Singh sir, he had mentioned some a very deep thought he had said. So he had said, Hari, that what we are looking at. We are looking at that, if you show them the way and they get inspired about it, तो आप उनको एक छोटा सा just show them one small thing, they will come back with 10 things. So it is like, picking up the essence of the international baccalaureate curriculum where, you have the holistic all-round development. So here we are not specifying one software where you can design your final product, like the Captain project. Like, for example, you can actually make a chatbot with a website, right? You can, and so extensively, you can use Scratch also. So there are going to be students who are going to be from humanities or commerce, and there are going to be low-hanging fruits also, which we have generally, sided up with, because parents wants कि चलो कोई एक अच्छा subject तो लेंगे where they can have some good thing in their college that they're going to, just like, Raksha said, there are so many dimensions a CS student can actually go to, AI, cloud computing, and so many other things. But here, it is not about creating an AI model. It is more about understanding what AI is in itself. So I would say that, you've done a wonderful job. And whether you create the final capstone project or your 11th grade project using MS Excel, using Scratch, using Python, using HTML, anything that you make use of is good enough. The only challenge and the struggle that we as 5-6 teachers who are working with CBSE and IBM are facing right now is to get the recognition as an equal subject with CS and IP. Because if UGC says that it is a 70-30 subject, then only we will recommend it for a best of 4. That is the only struggle we are hoping that the children who've taken AI and are sitting for 12th, this will be sitting for 12th dispatch. They should not face when they are working so hard on it. So of course, study well, get well, and all the best. And I'm your huge fan from today onwards. Huge fan, Meenu. Thank you so much for all the contributions that you've done.
Meenu ma'am, one more question has come up. The difference between deep learning and machine learning.
Yeah, so machine learning, see, it is just the difference of the number of the neural networks. So deep learning has more number of neural networks. So that is why, and obviously training of the machine will take huge amount of time. When you're doing unit 2, you can talk to them about the weather forecasting machine that Google, the model that Google is coming up with. The traditional model that we are using right now, so that is being phased out, and Google is coming up with its own model, which is, they are saying, they are predicting that it's going to be very, very, accurate. So you can talk to them about that. That is into deep learning. That model uses deep learning. You will have information on the net for it, so you can study that and you can talk to students about it. But it is mostly the difference in the neural networks. It has more number of neural networks, and a simple neural network, of course, is a single one, or probably a group of 5 or 10, something like that.
Okay, and Nancy ma'am wants to ask that to which all streams you have given this AI as an option.
Yeah, this is one question that I'm asked frequently. CBSE and IBM both say that you can give it to humanities student. I, on the safer side, this is again, I had spoken to lots of people because it was the first time. Even the teachers were a little skeptical. So in our school, we have introduced it in the science section. So students have a choice between CS, AI, and physical education, CS, bio, like that. So I have introduced it as and when I feel that probably, once I complete one cycle of 11th and 12th together, I'll be in a better position to answer this topic. Though CBSE, and even when I attended the CBSE training, they had said that you can give it to humanities students. But yes, there is a little bit of calculation involved in chapter 6 to 10, the 2 chapters which are in the theory portion, and 1 chapter which is in the practical portion, statistics part. There is a little bit of calculation involved. So if you feel that the student is not able to do it, then I think the student will have difficulty, because calculations are there. Regression is completely calculation based.
I would like to add on here that the company, the universities like IIITD, they also offer BTech courses. I'm saying BTech for humanities students. So
Yes.
there are options for the students, even if they take BTech, even if they take commerce or humanities, they can still go for BTech programs from such universities. So AI does have a scope over there also. That would add on.
Ma'am, for the science group, actually, what all subject combinations? Already physics and chemistry is there. Maths is also there. So with that, computer science and AI, is it the combination for science?
See, somebody had asked this question, and I think all of us have got confused whether CS and AI can be taken together. So this is something that I also need to find out. If you see the other skill subjects, marketing and business studies is not allowed. Accountancy and taxation is not allowed. So this I will have to find that, if CS and AI is allowed. So just give me some time. I will also find out.
Okay,
chemistry is also an optional subject. Though we do tell the students that science streams does take physics, chemistry, and maths as the main subjects, but chemistry is also an optional along with maths.
Yeah.
You just go and leave that.
Okay.
Ma'am, what is the name of the book that you told? Harmeet and something?
Harmeet, please tell your book name.
Oh, okay. Ma'am's book. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. It's her book only. This is for class 8, 9, and 10. And I remember going after Harmeet that please take her to class 11th also. So I think she's finally listened.
So it's so inspiring it is that it's not only for 8, 9, 10. The series is out for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 11th is on the way, should be done by August. 1 to 4 will be done by the end of this year. And hopefully 12th will see some rights. Hopefully this year it should work out, depending upon how the lockdown permits or doesn't permit. So Smita, the publication is BPB publication, BPB. But I would definitely recommend for grade 11. See again, even if I give you a book, it's not going to solve the problem. You again, as what as what Meenu has so nicely explained, that unless you don't sit down and burn the night oil, it's not going to happen. So you can look at it for reference. You can pick it up. That's not a problem. There's a Kindle version also available for all the series. But recommendation is that CBSE Intel has made a very beautiful compilation of the resource. Although, if you look at it, don't share that manual with the children. Reason being that the mathematics that is there in chapter 6 to 8, in the second part of the book for grade 11, it can be a little overwhelming for students if they have taken from humanities. You have to simplify it and bring it down to their level, as just what Neenu has explained to you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Any more questions from the audiences?
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Ma'am, my question is, I had a student who was asking me if he could take maths, physics, AI, and computer. I mean, would that combination
And
help
that's
him
what
to go
I'm
for
saying. That you
engineering?
give me a little bit of time. I will find out whether CS and AI can be taken up together. Because there was one teacher on the group who had said that it's allowed, though I'm a little skeptical. So just give me some time. I will find out and I will put it on the group.
Thank you, ma'am.
See, if we go with the analogy that goes with grade 10, where we cannot take IT, that is 402, and computer applications and information technology both as a subject, and that is what I also understand from grade 11th, that if you have computer science as the 5th subject, you cannot take artificial intelligence as a 6th subject. But I am also very skeptical unless I also don't confirm. I would also not want to comment on
If you
that.
remember, if you recall, Harmeet, few years back,
Yes.
CBSE had said that people who are taking CS and IP, they have to be different students.
Yes,
You
they
can't
have to
take
be.
up CS and IP together, and
It
that is
is-
why the exam is on the same day.
Exactly,
In
because the dichotomy is there.
CS, IP 802, since I am taking, it is also not allowed. You have to take either CS or IP or 802. So the exam is on the same day. So this is something that we'll have to find out. So just wait for some time, we'll find it out and then we'll get back to you.
Although somebody gave an explanation the other day on the group, but I'm not so sure. I've dropped a message to Singh sir, but let's see if we get the answer back, then I will definitely get back to you.
Okay. Any more questions or anything which anyone wants to discuss?
Thank you, Raksha, for moderating, and thank you, Shibi, for organizing. Other than
It's our
thank you,
pleasure.
Meenu, for everything.
It's pleasure to connect with all these people in the community who are working so hard. I'm also being part of the CBSE workshop. Meenu ma'am, I think you are also there. So I'm also in there, learning from all the ends. But yes, we do have to come out with our own ways and convince ourselves first that how it has to be given in. Yep. I'll request Shivi ma'am to come out with vote of thanks. Shivi ma'am.
Yeah. I'm here. I think the best part about any sessions for that matter is a time when you can, give your gratitude to the person who shared so much with you. And today, I actually would like to say that the confidence that all of us are seeing in Meenu ma'am, the experience that she shared is all because she worked really hard from the time she started to come to the point where she is today. Okay, so the journey, we are all just starting our journey. She's a little bit ahead of us in the journey. So she's like a torch bearer for us. Okay, so we can walk. In that light, we can walk. But the torch bearer can only lead us, tell us that, okay, this is a way. Now, whether to walk that path, whether to carve out your own path, or whether to set aside another is totally on us. When we started out with these sessions, it was because April 2020 to around, say, September, October 2020 was maddening because We were out of one webinar next to another, another, back-to-back webinars on all topics. Okay, we were so overwhelmed with webinars. And I have also attended a couple of webinars in, IIT, Kanchipuram and IBM and Intel, so many. But then the reason why we formed this group was just because, you could see it today. I'm sure that all those sessions gave you an insights about AI, what is there in AI, supervised, unsupervised, machine learning, neural network, all that thing is there. But how do you bring it down to your class? How do you connect to your children? How do you move forward? That was never taught to us, or nobody could share that with us over there. So today, Meenu ma'am, I do not know, please accept my humble gratitude on behalf of all the teachers out here. I'm sure that all of them would like to say the same thing. The session was short, crisp, with all kinds of information that they wanted, or in fact, we wanted. And I'm sure that since you're there in the group, Harmeet ma'am is also there in the group, there are many educators who are there in the group, Raksha ma'am, Shalini ma'am, Venkat sir, Vijay sir. There are so many people in that group who will definitely handhold the teachers as and when they require. But having said that, it depends on us and our learning, our willingness to explore more, spend, maybe nights, not getting a little uncomfortable, learning things that are not very comfortable to us. All that would depend on us. So today I'm grateful to Meenu ma'am for coming here, sharing her experience with us, sorting out all our queries, dedicating this time out from her busy schedule for us, and, helping us to move forward. So thank you very much once again, Meenu ma'am. And I would also, you want to say something, Meenu ma'am?
No, I just want to say it's a huge honor and pleasure. I only hope that I am known for being very crisp and short in my presentations and going very fast. So I just hope that whatever I have shared with you today helps you out, so that, at least it can give you a starting point. And then, of course, it's an ocean out there and you can explore it on your own.
Yeah, and I remember, I have this session today and I was just checking in the group, can somebody help me with moderation, because I was not very sure how long and how much I would be in the session. At any cost, I did not want the session to be compromised, because there are so many educators who are looking forward to this. So I did not want to compromise on the quality of this. And I put it in there and I waited and I waited. And then suddenly I got a message in my, personal message. As usual, Raksha ma'am has been so sweet. She always comes forwards to help. And that's a great sign about an educator, to collaborate, to help. She could have thought in one day, okay, I was never assigned the role of a moderator for this one. Mine is only coming up on 29. So why should I take this up? She never thought like that, even for once. So I am deeply, humbled. And I'm so grateful to you for helping us out with this moderation. May God bless you immensely, keep you healthy and safe. And may you all, have that health and energy to take care of other people who need your support and leadership. And Harmeet ma'am, thank you so much for coming here and sharing your valuable insights. We are definitely honored to have you with us. So we will be reaching out to you. We will be checking out what are the areas in which you can help us out. And I would like to thank all the teachers who have joined us today, this evening. Now it's been 4 o'clock. It's just 1 hour that we are here, and we are, I think, a little bit clear about what we need to do and how we need to go about. Thank you so much, Meenu ma'am, once again. We'll see you tomorrow, sharp at 3 o'clock again, with another set of unit and another set of questionnaire. So teachers, I will be sharing the registration form today. Please do register and join in.